What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Raw and Pure Sports, bringing to you, like we do each and every week, the Strokes Gain Show, Valentine's Day edition. Two things. You're either gaining strokes on the bench right now, or you're stuck watching us, dialing in those winners. And we appreciate it if you are watching us. We got my two main guys. We got Snyder. We got Locke. Snyder, I got to go to you first, my man. Chiefs, 4-0 now. When you were at Casa de AP, I mean, we did the victory lap, once before when we beat the Bengals. Now we got the Super Bowl win. Snyder, the floor is yours, my man. How are you doing today?
Good mojo coming in. Yeah, it was a fun day overall. Sweating the waste management, and then going over watching the Chiefs get another W. I think I may have to start charging you to come over at this point, but
I will pay the fee. I will pay the fee. I'll tell you that. I know.
Excited to dive
into. Not
even
a Chiefs fan. Like, you're a Chiefs hater too, so you're a Ravens fan. So I appreciate it though. Locks, let's bring you in, my man. We appreciate you. Hopefully, we probably should send some flowers or something to your wife, allowing you to do the show tonight. Locks, let's bring you in. How you doing tonight? Oh no, Locks, we got you on mute.
Oh, mute rookie. Missed 1 week and we're just a mute rookie here. No, but glad to be back with you guys. Excited to be back. Just ready to dive in. Missed you guys last week, but we're here to pick some winners. It's Valentine's Day. We got the Michael Jordan Roses shirt on for Valentine's Day. So, ready to pick some winners and dial it in again.
Yeah, very good. I mean, we're coming off a really fun event. I had a decent week, actually. No shippers or anything yet, but our workbench play of the week came through. Ricky Fowler. He actually, this dude was striping it, man. I was really impressed. That's my one takeaway. I watched his game really closely. He missed so many short putts. Like, it was un-Ricky-like to miss those type of putts. I mean, he should have been top 5 last week, in my opinion. Missed a lot of hurtful putts. Ricky Fowler, though, Jason Day, two guys that seem to have turned the corner. Their games look a lot better. Locks, you were all over the Jason Day call. Absolutely all over the J Day call. We saw him last. We've seen him actually a few weeks in a row now. I've watched him closely too. He looks really good. But my takeaway are some of these dusty dudes. We saw Justin Rose win. We've seen some of these guys kind of turn a corner. It might be the year of the dusty golfer, as we want to call it. Your Roses, your Rickies, your Jason Days, Locks. What was your takeaway from last week?
Yeah, it's definitely tending to look that way so far this year with Justin Rose. We got Ricky Fowler coming back into the mix. We got Jason Day playing well again. It might be. But then you got all these studs up top too that just continue to crush. So it's the same as it's been all year. It seems like these guys that are playing well, I mean, Rahm and Rory, they're still moons above all these other players right now. And Scheffler can be up there, talked about with them as well, I think. Those three guys just continue to, it seems, set themselves away from all these other dudes. So it'll be interesting to see ownership-wise where that goes this week. But, yeah, just continue to ride the hot hand. That's what golf is all about. So that's really what I always take away, is try to find who's got the hot hand from week to week.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And you love to see that we now have some absolutely loaded fields. We've got another one this week. But, Snyder, let's go to you. Waste management. What was your takeaway from the Waste Management Open?
Yeah, it was Scotty the Kid back-to-back there. He dominated Rahm again on the final day. Scotty's been getting the best of Rahm every time they're lined up on Sundays. I think Rahm gets too much of a pass there. 2 straight weeks where he's kind of fell apart there. Not really fallen apart, but hasn't really surged or shown much want to win there. But that's interesting going into this event there too. JT, AP's guy, JT just goes freaking nuclear on the weekend. 67, 65, the vault inside the top 5. I think he's looking great coming in this event. And then the AM PM wave, that turned out to be a pretty big advantage there, and a disadvantage for those AM guys like Rory teed off early, Morikawa teed off early. Those guys had that frost delay, and then the wind really picked up more than they thought, and there was gusts of sustained winds, 20-mile-an-hour gusts up to 30 there for a while. I mean, the scoring average was a pretty big wave advantage there, and we really didn't see that coming as that fog kind of settled in and the frost came in. But I think there's a lot to look at here. We've got only 4 guys in the 10K ranges. We'll get into a while, but I think we got another soft pricing field, and it should be a fun event here with 19 of the top 20 in play, and Tiger's back.
Tiger is back. We're at Riviera. Couple things before we get into our breakdowns like we do. We need you to hit the like, hit the subscribe. Helps us out a lot over here at Rumpier Sports. Allows us to bring this to you for free each and every week like we do. Snyder, I got to go right back to you. We're at Riviera Country Club. Or no, Genesis. It's at Riviera, right? I'm not
Correct.
just talking. Perfect. There we go. Riviera Country Club, Genesis. Our winner last year was Joaquin Neiman. It's a ball striker's paradise. Again, like if you just go and look at it each and every year, it is strokes gained. Your tee to green guys are just dominating this track. One that Tiger's had a ton of success at. So like when I build my model for this week, that's the profile of golfer I'm looking at. I feel dialed in too, but Snyder, give us, of course, overview for this week.
Yeah, like you said, we're here at Riviera Country Club this week for the Genesis Invitational. We got 19 of the top 20 golfers, like I said, and we got Tiger competing here for over $3 million for the second straight week. Another one of those elevated events here. Riviera is a par 71, measuring 7,322 yards. Larger than average greens here, measuring 7,500 square feet on average. These greens will be rolling at around 12.5 on the stip meter, which is really fast for these POA greens. We're going to see a lot of misses here from close ranges here, especially later in the day as these POA greens grow rapidly throughout the day and get a lot more bumpier as the day goes on. We see a lot of that, so be some strategy involved in showdown and such. Golfers are going to see some of the toughest fairways to hit on tour here, as well as these fairways only measure at 27 yards wide, and they start to narrow up at 300 yards and beyond. So likewise, only about 55% of the fairways have been hit here on average recently, and the Kikuyu grass rough is tough surface to hit out of. Kind of acts like a Velcro, as many will say. I think the Kikuyu grass will be mentioned quite a bit here this week. A couple of good course comps here that I'm looking at. It's like a Quail Hollow and some Augusta too. You can make a case for both the bombers and the accuracy, as bombers will have like less club in out of this rough, but the shorter hitters will still, I think, will be fine here. They can hit the fairway and they'll have an above average shots here throughout the fairway, but you need to be on the right side of the fairways here. I mean, there's a lot of times you could be blocked out by these tree line fairways. There's so many trees on this course blocking these fairways and such. 58 bunkers are going to litter the property here. They're going to be some of the deepest bunkers on tour as well. Hole 10 is a fun risk-reward drivable par 4. It'll be fun to see if anybody can one-up Big T here after his recent hole-in-one on the par 4. The course history here is going to be a big role here as these greens play tough. Many runoff areas. You need to know where you can miss on this course. I think at the winning score I'm looking at here, it's going to be like -12 to -15 range this week. Some other key stats we'll be looking at: strokes gained approach, off the tee, around the green, proximity 150 to 200, and 3-putt avoidance.
Very good breakdown, Snyder. Not going to lie. the word I heard just over and over in my head is Kikuyu. I like that word. We got Uncle T in the chat. Uncle T constantly trolling my guy Snyder. I mean, Uncle T. I wish I could bring you in, but I mean, too bad you're not on here. But I mean, you got to be nervous, man. I got in the gym. I got my 2 shots up. Clanked the first one. I'll tell you, I was about 2 or 3 steps beyond the 3-point line. Go and rewatch the footage. That next jumper, though, Uncle T. Man. Absolute splash. I mean, Uncle T. So we got a bet. So Snyder signed me up for a battle. Uncle T and who else are we playing? Snyder?
Dunkel.
Who?
Some guy named Dunkel from the bedside. Yeah, I don't know.
JJ. Oh,
the guy that likes to bank.
I mean, this is going to be some of the lightest work ever. Anyways, we'll get into that. Uncle T, love seeing you in chat, buddy. But yeah, let's get into the golf winners. I mean, Riviera. I mean, this field is absolutely stacked. We got the 10K range, which is just loaded. JT up there, Rory, Scheffler, Rahm, and Rahm's 11-1. Locks, let's start with you. Let's do 2 golfers we like up here and 1 fave.
Yeah, so for me up here, in this course, I'm going to be looking more at course history than I normally do, probably just at this spot. I just think it's very important here. These four guys up top, they all got pretty darn good history, so it's kind of pick your poison. For me, as I'm looking up here, right away, I just think JT and Rory jump off the map for me. I'm going to be higher on these two than the other two guys. It's just me personally. JT looked really good on the weekend. He's played well here. Yeah, he missed the cut in 21 and 20, but other than that, I mean, second, sixth, ninth, how can you go wrong with that? His ball striking is elite. If he can just catch a hot putter, I mean, I see him in the top 5 all day here. Played well last week, so I like him. I think Rory bounces back this week. He didn't look like himself. Scheffler and Rahm kind of outshined him, but I think he bounces back as well. And then my fade this week is going to be Rahm. I think he's going to finish outside the top 10, which he hasn't done in quite a long time. But I'm fading the big boy Rahm. I think he's going to finish outside the top 10. I'm not saying he's going to miss a cut or anything, but that's just my call. I'm going to fade him.
Yeah, very good. I mean, like Snyder said, Rahm is kind of, it's hard to like talk bad about John Rahm, but the last couple Sundays, Snyder, you're right, man. He's kind of faltered there down the stretch, especially when, he's right there neck and neck with our boy, Scotty Scheffler. Snyder, let's kick it over to you. 10K and up range, same question. 2 golfers you like and 1 fade.
Yeah, I like quite a few cheap guys this week, so I think I'm going to be able to get 3 of these in, but I'm going to mention just 2 here. I'm going to go right back to Scotty the Kid here. We saw him last year. He went on that run starting at last week's event, won that, back-to-back wins there now. Finished 7th here last year off that win. I think Scotty played good last week. I don't think Scotty played great last week. I don't think he did he did a lot of good things. It was a more well-rounded win last week versus the year before when he was just nuking it with the putter. So I think Scotty's going to play even better this week possibly. So I really like how he's improved this finish every stop here. Throughout the 3 stops he's had here, a 30th, a 20th, then finished 7th last year off that win. It looks like we should see Scotty maybe get kind of squeezed here again, maybe around 15% ownership. I think we could possibly see him approach that 18% number again, like we saw last week, where he kind of got the late steam where everybody was kind of jumping off the other 2 guys and some ownership was going to Scotty. But hopefully we can get Scotty like around 15% off that win, as a lot of people don't like to play guys off of the wins, but I think Scotty's built different. So I like Scotty this week. And then I'm gonna go to Rory. I really love the price tag on Rory this week, 10-5. He was the guy that was in. You get a $600 discount from Rahm, and I've been Rory over Rahm for the past year or so now. So I'm going to keep going that way. And Rory did get penalized for having that AMT time last week, as those wins were much greater than the PM there. I think this course sets up so much better for his game as well. So I think we're getting a lot of things going in his way here. So I really like Rory this week. He's finished 10th. Last year here, has a couple of their top 5s, 3 of his last 4 appearances here at this event. I think Rory is just a phenomenal value, even at 10-5 this week. And my fade is going to be John Rahm. I've been on Rory over Rahm every time they've played, and I'm going to keep going that way. And like I said, I mean, Rahm's kind of been struggling here a couple times, especially when he gets matched up against Scotty or Rory or some of these big names on a Sunday. I mean, he only has like 1 major. He doesn't have the greatest course history here either. 21st last year, 17th in 2020. That's not going to get done for the price tag. So I'm with locks on the fade of Rahm, like always when Rory's in the field.
Yeah, very, very good. Again, one thing that I'm leaning on is ball striking, tee to green play. And I was really like locks. I'm with you on JT. Obviously, I'm always on JT, but I always like him, but I'm not always on him. I'm going back to him though. Like I was really impressed with what I saw on Sunday at the Waste Management Open. He 10-1. I think is fair price tag. We need the putter to come alive though. And so but for me at this track, I'm going to value the tee to green play, your ball striking over putting on these tough POA, bumpy POA greens. So JT, my favorite in this range, and then I'm also looking at Rory. Rory, it's hard to go wrong with it. I think the price tag is very fair, 10-5. He's got history here, T10, miscut, T5, T4, T20. Rory's just going to be the guy that I want. And then I'm with you guys. I'm fading Rahm. Maybe that's a problem. You know, I mean, if you looked at like the ESPN panel, the Fox panel, and the Super Bowl, Eagles all across the line. And then what happens? Chiefs win, obviously. And we're all fading Rahm. So what happens? He probably punishes us. But it is what it is. Let's move on down to the 9K range. Let's go back to you, Locks. Give us a couple golfers that you're on and then one fade.
Yeah, this range is interesting as well. And just looking at it right away, you can see a couple guys are probably going to gain some steam, couple lower owned dudes. I'm going to be honestly lower on a couple guys here than I think other people will be heavy on. And I see it differently. I don't like Homa too much this week. I feel like he's going to get steamed a little. I'm seeing kind of high ownership. Yeah, he won here a couple of years ago. Last year finished 10th. He didn't look too great last week. I think I'm going to be a little bit lower on him here. And just like you were just talking about as far as putting goes, I'm a little bit less concerned and more concerned with ball striking. So I love Morikawa this week. I think he bounces back from his missed cut. He's going to have a little bit lower ownership just because of that as well. Finished second here last year. Has been playing actually really good golf. And he's just a guy, again, that if he gets out with the putter, if him and JT get hot with the putter, it's almost game over for those two. So I love Morikawa here. And then probably Tony Finau. He's been playing well. We've seen the guy striking the ball well since his couple victories. 2 second-place finishes here, great course history. I think he plays good here as well. So it's probably Morikawa, Finau for me. I'm probably going to fade a couple guys in this range, if not 3 of them. So I'll just mention a couple is Homa, Im, and Burns. I'm going to be lower on, I think, than most of the field.
Yeah, very good. One term to describe the Morikawa play, flop lag. And, just going to the NBA streets tonight, Jalen Suggs the other night ended up being not like popular value, but people got on him with Cole Anthony being out. He was very hurtful. What happens tonight? He's got like 28 DK points at halftime, and he's 3.6K. So that is the term that – I mean, Snyder, did you like coin that term, flop lag? I mean, let's kick it over to you. But
I think so. I started using that a couple years ago, and I kind of possibly I coined it. I hope so. I don't know. I've been using it for a couple years at this point, but yeah, I definitely like Morikawa here. I mean, everybody knows I'm probably going here. I hope the ownership is more in check. I actually downgraded him last week. I don't like playing Morikawa when he starts approaching 20-25. So I originally had him at like 60% in my builds, and I backed him all the way down to 30%. So it wasn't as hurtful as it could have been. I still ended up having some sweats there on Sunday, but definitely going back to Morikawa here. I'm hoping he's more in that 10 to 15% range versus the 20% mark we saw last week. Great course setup here. He finished second here last year. That hole number 10, that drivable par 4, we know what Morikawa does on those drivable par 4s, dating back to his first major he won at the PGA there in California as well. So I like Morikawa. He was also in the AM wave last week. He got punished there, but he also got punished by the putter. And I don't think he's that good of a win player either. So that kind of was a double-edged sword there for him last week. Love going back to him this week. Sungjae Im is another guy I feel very confident in backing again this week. So I'm going to be right back on Im. He's been a very consistent golfer. I think he finishes inside the top 10 again this week. I mean, the tee to green game has just been great for him. He's gained over 8 strokes in his last 2 events. Tee to green, the short game's been there as well for him. His around the green game has been in all 4 events. He's been gaining, and he's gained strokes putting in 3 straight events too. So I really like Sungjae Im. More towards the bottom of that. I don't think I'm really going to play much at the top of this range, as I do prefer JT versus those guys. In my fade in this range is going to be who I think is going to be the highest owned in this range, and that's Tony Finau. I just worry about his off the tee game here. We've seen him get wayward off the tee. He gets buried behind some of these trees. I think he could get in trouble here. He's been boom bust at this event. Does have a pair of second place finishes, but he also has 5 finishes of 33rd or worse at this event. So got to make some tough cuts up here in this range. So I think I'm going to be off of Tony Finau as he's projected to be the highest owned guy in this 9K range.
So Snyder, quick question back to you. What if I told you? So one of the things, if you go to the heat map for PGA, I have, let's see, five 5 stat categories that I rank there each week, trying to my goal is basically trying to figure out what's the profile of a golfer that I want to target this week. One thing I am looking at is total driving. I like looking at it almost each and every week, and ball striking. But I mean, what if I told you Tony Finau ranks second in this field in total driving? Not like total driving like you think of it. It's a little bit different how I do it. I do the weightings a little bit different than what your standard total driving is. I'm looking at a bunch of different things. So it's what I think is a better way to look at it. But what would you say if I told you Tony Finau ranks second in my total driving model? Would that change your opinion at all, or are you just fading him?
Yeah, I think I'm off of him. You got to make some tough cuts up here.
Snyder. Freaking hurt.
And I would.
I'm with Locks on Finau, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Locks, you're on Finau, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I'm usually on the wrong side of Finau. Everybody usually plays him, and I'm the one guy that's usually off of him. And I'd just rather play Sungjae or Morikawa or JT above him.
Did Max Homa have the bad draw? Do you guys know off the top of your head? Maybe Chad can help us out. It's all good, because if he did, that would be a nice excuse there. But I mean, a couple things with Max Homa. The guy's a stud. I'm really torn. If he's going to be chalk, then I might be with you, Locks, on the fade. But if he's going to be low owned with that price tag, I would have interest. So it's more of like a leverage thing for me. The one thing I am going to do, though, is go back to Collin Morikawa. I think this course is built for him. Like, when you just think of the type of golfer that you want to target, this is definitely the course that he should smash. So, and I'm telling you, with him missing the cut last week, that's going to impact ownership a lot. I bet, though, he is someone that gets steamed up throughout the week just because of the low price tag, but I'm going to get very, very overweight. He's someone that I'm considering to be 60 to 70% for me. So, and Snyder, I'm not just trying to make your day, make you happy or anything like that. I just think Morikawa is a really, really strong play. Very, very good bounce back play here. So for me, I'm on Collin Morikawa. I'm on Tony Finau. And my fade, I do like Xander too. So my fade in this range probably is going to be Sammy Burns. Again, I think he gets to be kind of low owned, but I'm probably going to side with fading. Sungjae's a tough fade. Sungjae's playing out of his mind right now. So very, very difficult. I also think maybe you could start your build in this range if you start with Xander and then snag another guy, Xander, Morikawa, or you go JT, Morikawa. There's a lot of interesting things that you can do. But for me, I definitely like Morikawa. I definitely like Tony Finau, fading Sam Burns. Locks, let's go back.
I found that Max Homa was a PMT time last week.
So he had the good time?
Yep.
Oh, all right. I might be with you, Locks. We'll see, though. AK range, Locks. Let's kick it over to you.
Yeah, in the 8K range, obviously we got a few more golfers here. What do you want? Are we going 3-1 this time? Are the 8Ks?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Going with 3 guys here. Right away, the 2 guys that jump out at me, Cam Young, Will Zalatoris, just elite ball strikers that I think can play well here. Cam Young's first year here. Last year finished second place. He's just been down with a putter, and I think he can turn that around. His around the green game putting, I think he can turn that around this week. I like him a lot. I like him every week. I want to get on him. He's going to win one of these days, and I want to be first on him when he wins. It's coming soon. Mark it down. I said it at the beginning of the year, and I'm standing behind it. So I'm going with Cam Young. I think Willie Z is in a nice bounce back spot. He's kind of struggled his last couple tournaments. Hasn't really played well this year, honestly. But the ball striking and everything's been there. He just hasn't been scoring. At super low ownership, I think he's very interesting. He's finished 15th, 26th here the last 2 years. So those 2 are the 2 that jump out at me right away. And then how can I not play Jason Day? I've been on the guy all year. He looks fully healthy. And we've seen this guy when he's fully healthy. He contends each and every week. He's putting the ball well. He's hitting the ball well. I think I'm high on him again this week. And I still don't see him getting very much steam from what I'm looking at. I'll throw one more guy out there that I do like, and that's Tom Kim. Another elite ball striker. If he can just get the putter going, he can be there as well. The guy I'm probably going to fade is going to be the guy I'm seeing as the chalkiest in this range here. Everybody's going to look at course history. He's finished fourth. He's finished fifth here in the 2 years he's played the last 2 years. I'm going to fade him pretty much on an ownership play, and I just don't think he's going to finish up there. I don't feel as good about Victor Hovland this week, so I'm going to be fading Victor Hovland.
Yeah, I like it. Snyder, let's go to you. 8K range, 3 golfers that you are on, and 1 fade.
Yeah, my first golfer I really like here is Tyrrell Hatton. Tambo kind of got me on him last week. I was on the fence whether I was going to play him or not, and then I heard Tambo talk about him on the premium show. That kind of shifted me more so onto him, and I'm going to go right back to him at cheap price tag here, only 8.1K. I think that's a very good price tag for him. He loves playing in these bigger time field events. The recent form has been great for him. 6 of his last 9 events, he's coming in off a top 10. The ball striking was elite last week, gaining over 10 strokes. I think he would have finished higher if he didn't make a few mistakes around the green and on the green. He kind of almost blew up there on Sunday, I believe. But I really like Tyrrell Hatton here. I like Matt Fitzpatrick. I like the price tag here. I was kind of surprised to see him only at 8.3. I mean, with his game, I think this course sets up really well for him. He finished 5th here back in 2021 and 30th in 2020. Didn't play here last year. Has some pretty good decent form coming in. I mean, they're saying he might not be 100%. Maybe that just lowers the ownership on him, I hope. I think he's a really strong play at 8.3. Like I said, he finished 5th here in 2021, where he gained over 8 strokes total at that time. And then I'm kind of torn both on – I've got concerns on both Zalatoris and Tom Kim here this week. I mean, I'm kind of worried why Zalatoris skipped last week with such a big price pool. But he is playing this week for the elevated price pool here. He kind of backed out. Was supposed to originally play in that $20 million purse last week, kind of backed out. I'm not sure what was it up with that or not. And then I do like Tom Kim. I think this is a really good spot for him. The off the tee game does kind of worry me some with him. He lost 3 strokes off the tee last week. In the event before, he lost 1.6 strokes off the tee. But if he can get that off the tee game figured out, I think this is a really good spot for him. But I'm mostly on Hatton and Fitzpatrick in this range, and then on Whitlock's on the Hovland fade. I just don't really like the roster guy. Him on like tracks like this where the around the green game is going to be needed mightily. I don't really trust the short game here. He projects to be the highest owned guy in this range as well. The course history should only elevate his ownership too, I think, with the sub 9K price tag. But he did gain over 5 strokes putting here last year, and has lost putting in 3 of his last 4 events, and he's lost strokes around the green in his last 3 events also. So I'm going to be fading Victor Hovland in this range.
Yeah, very good. I think I'm kind of aligned with you guys again. I love the bottom of this range, not so high on the top. I don't play Victor Hovland too often. I know he's a good ball striker and stuff, but I'm kind of with you guys on that fade. You know, Kim Young, I thought was a little interesting, but he was like on fire last year. I mean, he had that, I think it was like round 4. I'm just going off memory. I forget he finished second. He was trying to chase down Joaquin Niemann, didn't get it done, but second place finish. I think he's overpriced a little bit relative to the field and the golfers in this range. I'm telling you, maybe it's the year of the dusty golfer. Jason Day, I'm going right back to him. I mean, the guy's playing really well, especially from a ball striking perspective. He's also been very good at limiting and avoiding bogeys, and the putter's back too. And so when you get those things together with Jason Day, getting off the tee, ball striking, and putting, it usually results to very good golf, very good play, and very low finishes. So Jason Day, someone I'm very high on. Matt Fitzpatrick, I mean, this course seems to be kind of built for his game. He's been working on distance as well, and that's been a big thing for him. And he just seems too cheap. Like, no one likes to play him, but you get him in a big field, like a big field event like this. Matt Fitzpatrick, how doesn't he just like pop? I mean, this dude is a major champion. He is a very good ball striker and a very good putter. So I love Matt Fitzpatrick here. And then I'm going, again, year of the dust dusty golfer, I'm going back to Justin Rose, man. I like what I saw. I love this course for him. Coming off that win, I know who's gonna play Justin Rose at 8K coming off that win? No one's gonna play him. I like what I saw, and he has a lot of history here. It was the ball striking that did it for me, and the combination of his putter's hot. So I love Justin Rose. Probably not like a workbench type of play, but I would not be surprised if the bench play this week was one of those three: Fitzpatrick, Jason Day, Justin Rose. But you got to be a member over at Rumpier Sports to find that out. My fade in this range, let's make it 3 for 3, guys. Victor Hovland. So again. Second.
Uh-oh.
my mic. Oh.
Muting himself while he's talking. Now that's awesome.
It did it again. My damn AirPods. So like I got this issue. My AirPods continue to try to take over my mic, and then it messes everything up. But I think we got it fixed. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Victor Hovland's going to be my fade in this range. So go ahead, Lux.
I tell you, we're all fading Victor Hovland and Rahm. So if somebody wants to start building a lineup with all of our fades, it might go off.
Especially with the maybe the higher powers are trying to tell me something right there. But no, I feel good about that. And I mean, this range is stacked. Like Fitzpatrick could win. I mean, he definitely could. Like Jason Day is primed for a win. So you could see this is going to be a great week, I think, to like take a longer shot. So very, very nice range here in the 8K range. Like Tom Kim too. This course fits very well for him. So I like that we're all on the same page here. Let's keep it going, though. Let's get down to the 7K range. Locks, I'll kick it over to you. 3 to 4 golfers that you like in this range and 1 fade.
Yeah, this range is a pretty big range here. So I'm interested to see kind of where you guys go as well. But there's just a few names as we're going through here that kind of jump out at me. Ricky Fowler, you talked about him earlier, and you're talking about all these dusty guys coming back this year. Well, his ball striking sure looks like it's back. He went back to his old swing coach, and, man, has it paid off for him. If he can just get some putts rolling, which, like you said, uncharacteristic short putts missed. I mean, look out. This guy is going to contend again. We've seen him. He's obviously done it before. He's won before, playoffs, non-playoffs, whatever. I mean, he can do it. So if I'm seeing him sub 10% still, he's made both his last 2 cuts here. He's finished 10th and 11th in his last 2 tournaments overall. Definitely a ton of interest in him this week. Another guy, if I'm going at the top of the range, I'm looking at the bottom of the range now, is Patrick Rogers. I know Snyder and us kind of mentioned him pre-show, but I do like him here. Great course history. Yeah, last year he missed the cut, but he just finished 14th last week. He's in good form. Anybody with good course history that's just had one off missed cut, I'm okay playing. I'm okay with that. He's a good ball striker. If he can get the putter hot too, I could see him going low. I just worry about him with the accuracy off the tee is the only thing that I get a little bit wary on with him. But it looked decent last week, so I'm okay going there. And then just a couple other guys I'll mention quick. Tommy Fleetwood is a good ball striker. Tom Hoagie. I like those 2 guys. I'm seeing super low ownership. Hoagie missed the cut here, missed the cut in his last event as well. So I think he's going to come in lower owned. And 7,300 is a price tag I'm willing to pay for a guy that's as good a ball striker as he is. The only shaky part of his game really is around the green and putting. So if he can keep that intact, like I said, I'm good with ball strikers this week. Get the ball on the green. Everybody, whatever. If you're putting good, you got it. I'm okay with it. I'm not really focusing too much on putting this week as I'm kind of talking through this. So I'm kind of with you, AP, in a line on that. If I'm looking at a fade here, I really wanted to play Taylor Montgomery, but I think I'm going to fade him. I'm just seeing 15 to 20% ownership, and the guy hasn't played this course before. To me, that's too much. Yeah, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I can see it if you guys want to play him, but he's coming off a missed cut last week. He hasn't played this event or this course. So I don't know. I'm fading Taylor Montgomery pretty much on ownership and just the fact that he hasn't really seen this place before.
Yeah, very good. This range is interesting. I feel like just like looking at it on the surface, there's a lot of landmines in this range. So one thing that I made note of is just anyone that's going to project as like heavy chalk here. I'm I'm really going to take a second look at and consider, like, do I really want to eat chalk or would it make for a better fade? So I'm being pretty cautious with the 7K range. Snyder, let's kick it over to you, though. 3 to 4 golfers that you like and one fade.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys in this range. I like a lot more of these guys in the bottom of this range, too. Adam Hadwin's been a very consistent cut maker, coming off a solid T10 last week, was top 20 at the Amex, too. He's made 7 of his last 8 cuts here, with 6 of them being inside the top 35. I don't think he gets too much ownership here either, since he's not really a sexy name or anything. Some other guys are around him as well. I think he'll come in maybe around 10% or so, like Hadwin. I like JT Poston, another guy that's in a flop-like situation here. He's made 4 of his last 5 cuts here and has had a strong start to the season before busting a fairly high-owned guy last week. The ball striking's been great this week, except for last week. So I'm willing to write that off as a bad week. I'm going to go right back to the postman here this week. And then my guy, Taylor Moore, I've been on him since the Corn Ferry 2022. The fall of 2021, 2022 season. I really like the spot for him. 3 straight top 15s. It looks like he's going to be lower owned too, like maybe around 10% owned this week. He's been striping it with the irons. He's also gained over 3 strokes off the tee last week. This guy is ready to break out here soon, I think, this year. He finished 21st here in his first trip here last year, so I really like Taylor Moore. I like the flower call there. I'll go back to and play some Ricky Flower there. In my fade in this range is going to line up exactly with locks again here in this range. I'm going to be off of Taylor Montgomery. He was a guy I've been on early in the season and late last year, but he looks like he's going to be the highest owned guy in this range. And the tee to green game definitely scares me here, worries me with him here. I don't think this is a great spot for him, and it's his first time playing this event. So I'm going to be off of Taylor Montgomery, as he's lost strokes ball striking in 3 of his last 4 events. So I'm off of Taylor Montgomery this week. And I think I mentioned him last week, but as his ownership crept up last week, I ended up only fielding him at around 15 to 20%. So this week I'm going to be completely off of him though, I think.
Yeah, so we officially have the all fade core, if you want to do that. John Rahm, Victor Hovland, and Taylor Montgomery, because that's my fade on this range too. Did we talk before the show?
Not a single bit.
Yeah, we did not talk. I haven't talked to Snyder probably since Chiefs won the Super Bowl, so had to mention that, number 3 time right there.
Fade the chalk.
Yeah, so that's interesting. It could absolutely pound us, but so I'm on Ricky again this week, but that's not going to be one of my guys. I do like where his game's at. So Ricky, I'm going to go back to him. Obviously, bench play last week. Keegan Bradley, 7-7. He's played good golf. I faded him last week, and I finished T20. He played good. I'm going to go back to him. I love the ball striking where he's at. I think he's a good play this week. I saw someone in chat asking about him. Yeah, Richie Smalls. Smalls, man, I am on Keegan Bradley this week. I love the bottom of this range too, but I mean, all right, so Nick Taylor, he's priced right there with Shane Lowry. And for me, I'm like, Shane Lowry priced this low. I'm like, God, how high owned is he going to be? But it doesn't look, I'm not the best with ownership. Snyder, where is Shane Lowry falling as far as ownership goes? Do you have a good read on that?
Yeah, I think he's going to be maybe 5 to 8% owned. I don't think he's going to kick much ownership here. The big question with Shane Lowry is always is there a Golden Corral near him?
Yeah, that's what we'll have to look that up. Nick Taylor, though, I was really impressed. He handled all the pressure. He played phenomenal, a ball striker. I'm going to go to Nick Taylor. I think he's a good play. Scott Stallings, he's been playing out of his mind lately. 4 or 5 made cuts over his last 5 events. He's missed 3 cuts in a row here the last 3 times he's played, but he does have 1 T4 finish. So it's he's got the skill set to get it done. I like Stallings. And then my other one, now I got one more question for you. So I do like Patrick Rogers, but that's one of those guys where I'm like, man, if he's going to get really steamed up, do I really want to go to him? But Snyder, do we have a lot of water on this course?
Not much water at all on this course, no.
So Gary Woodland. Again,
Waterland.
If this is the year of the dusty golfer, Gary Woodland makes for a really good tournament play. He's like popping, like his putter is terrible right now. But if you take away the putting stats, he pops in strokes gained off the tee, ball striking, and obviously the driver distance is good. So again, this is a track where I'm not prioritizing putting that heavily. We've seen some bad putters do well here. Gary Woodland is going to be a tournament punt play for me at 7K.
He'll be like 2% owned, I think, too.
Yeah,
so you'll be able to get overweight on him easy.
Yeah, and this is like one of my GPP fillers and MME. I'm talking like 7 to 15% range. That will get me, 3 to 6x the field, if not a little bit more. Let's keep it going. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a lot over here at Run Pure Sports. 6K range locks. We'll kick it over to you. A couple golfers you like and a fade.
Man, this range is hard for me. There's a lot of guys down here and a lot of guys I'm crossing off. I don't really like a whole lot in this range. If I'm looking here, I'm probably ignoring putting as well and just kind of looking tee to green game like we've been talking all show, AP. And right away, if I'm looking at my course history, I have been looking at along with some ball strikings and stuff like that. I'm looking at James Hahn right away. Is interesting to me at 6,700. So I do got some interest there. Maybe a little bit of Luke List. He's missed his last couple cuts here, but before that, 30th, 15th, 26th. So, he's played here a decent amount, knows the course. Yeah, does he suck at putting as well? Absolutely. But I'm okay going there. $6,800 for a guy that can win golf tournaments, I'm okay with. I just don't want to have any of these punt plays, like super punts down here that I'm going to get into. I don't see myself playing any of those type of guys. So I'd say probably for me, it's like a Nick Hardy, Luke List, James Hahn. Those are just a few guys that I'm on down in this range. Really, I'm not seeing anybody else as I'm scrolling down towards this bottom of the list here. No real great course history guys. Ches Reeves somehow finished 10th here a couple times, but I'm not playing him. So in this range, it's just a few guys for me. I don't want any super huge punts here, but if I'm fading anybody, it's probably going to be Alex Smalley. I'm seeing him kind of get the most ownership down in this range at 6,900. So I'm probably going to stick with my fade the chalk. I know he's not really chalky, but he's the chalkiest one down here. So I'm probably fading Smalley, probably fading Jonathan Vegas down in this range. I just haven't seen it from these guys. Course history hasn't been there. So probably those two fades for me and the other few guys that I like.
Yeah, I like it. Again, the 6K range does look a little weak like it was last week, and I didn't have heavy exposure to it, and I love how my results were last week, so I'm going to be kind of on that same angle. Snyder, kick it over. That going back to the 8K, 9K range, like I could see the winner coming out of that range. I'm going to anchor a lot of my builds with those guys. So like your Fitzpatrick, if you go way overweight on a guy like Fitzpatrick and he ships, he definitely could at this event. You're going to be mint. You're going to be absolutely mint. Snyder, 6K range, couple golfers you like, and a fade.
Yeah, there's some interesting guys here. I like going back to Johnny Vegas here. He's off of back-to-back top 25s. The tee to green game has been good for him. He loves looks pretty good with the flat stick. The flat stick did let him down the past 2 weeks, but the tee to green game looks really good for him. So I really like Johnny Vegas here this week. Good price tag. James Hahn's a guy with great course history here, coming off a 32nd last week, like him. Lanto Griffin's another guy I like. Has made the cut in all three trips here. Finished inside the top 40 each time. Has putted well on these greens too. So I like Griffin. A couple other guys maybe I could get onto is Sam Ryder. Finished 26th here last year and comes off of a couple of top 20 finishes. So I could get the Sam Ryder at 6'7". There's not too many guys I like in this range either. I'm going to try and round out a lot of my builds in that low 7K range if I can. Adam Shank's a guy I may get to. That'd probably be the lowest guy I would get to at 6'4". He's had three pretty good events right in a row, 20th and 37th and the 23rd. But I'm going to fade a lot of these dusty, cheap guys, I think, and try and round out a lot of my builds at the top of the 6K range or at the bottom of the 7K range if possible. So I really like that approach.
Yeah, I like it. One guy I like in an official 6K notebook play of the week, Lanto Griffin, 6'5". He's played 3 times, 2022, 21, and 20. Made the cut each time. The putter looks good. He typically plays well on these West Coast tracks. So I like Lanto Griffin. Dylan Fratelli, T14 last week. The guy's playing good. 2 made cuts here, 2 missed cuts. I think he's going to be a guy that I put into my player pool as well. And again, I'm with you guys. It's kind of a dusty range, but I'm going to go. I got these filler guys that I like. One of them, my boy, who helped me ship last year, not at this event, a different event that was on the East Coast, but Sepp Straka. He's just a beast off the tee. The ball striking's good. The putter's good right now. One stat that I'm looking at that looks really nice for him is his approach game is really good. It ranks 15. I'm looking at last 24 rounds, ranks 15th on approach. And that T21 at the Century was a nice finish there. So yeah, Sepp Straka is going to be a guy that I'm on. Well, I mean, there's not going to be any like heavy chalk down here. So it's like the fades are kind of like, you can't really make any bold calls. What is wrong with our boy Harris English? I mean, that injury must have just set him back. This is a PGA Tour winner. Like he was like an 8-9, like higher price guy, and it's been tough times for Harris English. Him and Francesco Molinari, those are those dusty dudes. I'm not going to be playing for a long time until they prove something. So those are going to be my fades. Let's get on to our winners. I think it's a really interesting week for if you want to take not like long shots, but kind of like medium long shots, that 40 to 50 to 1 type of range. Snyder, let's kick it over to you first. What 2 golfers do you have winning this week?
Yeah, I've got 2 guys wrote down. I was kind of worried that you might take one because you've been hinting at maybe taking one of these guys. I like Matt Fitzpatrick at that 40 to 1 number. I think that is a way too big of a number for his upside in this event. This course sets up very good for him. So I really like that 40 to 1 number on Matt Fitzpatrick. And then for my long shot, I'm going to go with the guy I talked about in that 7K range. He's off 3 straight top 15 finishes. I think he's going to pop for a win sometime this year. I think it'd be a long shot here, but 130 to 1 odds on Taylor Moore here. I really like the 130 to 1 on Taylor Moore here as a long shot play.
Yeah, I like that. 2 good calls there. Locks, kick it over to you. Who do you got winning? And then give us a longer-ish shot.
Yeah, I don't have the odds up in front of me, so you might have to help me out with that. But I'm going to go with my boy Cam Young. I think he's going to pull off his first victory. We saw him kind of
33 to 1.
What is he?
33 to 1.
Okay. So I'm okay with that. I would take him at 33 to 1. Just a ball striking machine. It's a guy that needs to get the putter hot. I think one of these rounds one of these weeks he's going to. He's my call to win this week. As far as a long shot goes, man, I'm looking down here. I don't really have one that's jumping off to me, but we're going to go with Jason Day getting back into the winner's circle. What is his?
Yeah.
His odds?
45 to 1.
Dude, that's what I'm telling. This is like such a great betting week because I love Jay Day, 45 to 1. I'm telling you, the like Fitzpatrick. Are you kidding me? Like those odds are awesome. Hatton right in that range. Like you got Adam Scott.
Adam Scott was a good call.
Keegan Bradley too. Like I think you can create a nice little portfolio. Like let's just say you had $500 that you want to sprinkle on some outrights. You could create a nice little portfolio there, sprinkling like a $75 bet, $100 bet in this range, and to give yourself a sweat down the stretch. So I'm with you on Jason Day, but I got Colin Morikawa. I'm showing 22 to 1. Is that right?
Yeah, he's right in that range. Yeah.
Yeah, Colin Morikawa 22 to 1. I think that's just too tasty of a price tag. And then Jason Day was my other one. But if I had to pick someone outside of that, I would say it'd be Matt Fitzpatrick. So you took my other one. I would say Keegan Bradley, since he's kind of been like he's playing good, and I think like if he can make some putts, and this is bad putters can win here, he's someone that could have a sweat down the stretch. So I think all of those are really really good outrights.
I thought you were going to go Flower.
I mean, had to be last week. I mean, no, we can't. No, he's more of a DFS play.
55 to 1 is too short for him.
Yeah, that's not. What was he like? He was like 70 to 1 last week.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, it's a bad price on Flower. Snyder, your final thoughts this week?
Yeah, looking forward to this event. We got another loaded field here, another elevated event. I think we're going to see the cream rise to the top again. Hopefully we see a couple of these studs, maybe 3 or 4 of these studs battling it down the stretch. It'd be fun to see Tiger make the cut here. I'm not too optimistic on that, though. I mean, he couldn't play this course well when he was in his prime, and now he's kind of in shambles there, but he's getting healthier, so it's good to see him in play. Hopefully he can make the cut. I know you can get like 2 to 1 on him to make the cut, I think, on DraftKings. So if you're interested there, we're going to have all the showdown content coming forward to you as well. I'll have the showdown playbook up for Wednesday night for round 1, and then I'll have it up each night throughout the weekend until round 4 concludes. I'm really excited for this. And then we're going to have some strong golf coming up here for the next, month and a half leading up to Augusta there. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to all this coming up.
Snyder, before I kick it to locks, one question, because we did not talk about the GOAT, Tiger Woods. Does he make the cut or not?
That's what I was just saying. I hope he makes the cut. I mean, you can get 2 to 1 on him to make the cut. But yeah.
I was reading Uncle T's comments there in the chat, so he's distracting me.
That's my boy. He's making the cut.
I hope so. I mean, that's a juicy price tag. I seen a matchup odds on him versus Luke Donald. Luke Donald was a minus 140 favorite over Tiger, which was very, very hurtful, I thought, and disrespectful.
Donald?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a trap then? I mean, what? What is going on?
I about fainted when I seen it, but it was right there. I think it was on DraftKings, maybe.
He's not playable in DFS formats, though, right?
DFS, I'm not playing him, but I think he's making the cut at least.
Because it's Tiger. He's gonna get some ownership.
He'll get like 10% ownership off the name.
How do you play it? Like, it's just Richie Smalls is doing it. He's playing him. Richie Smalls, I love you, man. But good luck.
No, he said I'm doing it to play in yours and my course or yours.
Okay. I got you. I misread that, Richie Smalls. Still love you though. Locks, your final thoughts this week?
Yeah, just this week. As far as my final thoughts go for this tournament, I'm kind of ignoring putting, not really completely ignoring it. I mean, if guys are just atrocious, yeah, I'm going to avoid them, but not as high of a point of interest for me this week that I really care about. I'm looking at ball strikers, guys that are going to hit these fairways, hit the greens. Anybody can get out with a putter. So just stick to ball strikers here. Around the green game's kind of important, but for me, it's just ball striking, off the tee game, that type of stuff. Just pay attention up the lock too, just in case there are some sudden withdrawals. It seems to happen every once in a while. So yeah, ball strikers and stuff for me, but kind of ignoring the putting.
Yeah, very good. My final thoughts are, just looking at this, I know I said I like Rory, but honestly, I don't mind fading all 3 at the top, starting my builds with JT or Xander, and then living in this mid-tier range. Like, I do think the winner could come out of, like, Keegan Bradley up to, the low 8K. I would not be surprised if the winner came out of that range. So I'm going on the mid-tier build just because I don't like a lot of the punts, and what that's going to force me to do is be under on the Rahms, Scheffler, and Rory. Yeah, it could absolutely own me, but if those guys don't, post a high finish or score really well, you're sitting fine. And then if one of these guys, like a Matt Fitzpatrick, wins, you are absolutely mint. So that's my final thoughts this week. First, second loaded field. The PGA streets are fully back. We got the premium show tomorrow. We got Big T. We got Tambo on that show tomorrow. Core plays will be up. The heat map will be up pretty early tomorrow, actually. We got Snyder on the playbook. We got all the showdown stuff coming over here at Rumpier Sports. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, sign up, use code Snyder15, LOCKS15, or AP15 if you want. Those 2 are better codes than mine. With that, Snyder, let's run Pier. Get us out of here.